What's our next subject? Have a look to see
It's
if
the
this.
Canucks.
Ooh, the Canucks, and let's go through it pretty quickly because it's something that people are talking about a lot around the league, and we sort of touched on it last episode. Uh,
Yep,
Swiftly going from Hank and Daniel to the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, they're doing poorly. Um,
that's an
Again,
understatement.
yeah, it's just not meshing well. Not meshing well right now.
No, and man, it's so surprising. I mean, I'm pretty sure like Demko, he's been playing well, hasn't he? Like, I think his
Uh,
numbers look nice.
Gotta get updated here, Steven. I know that they've lost many games in a row that were over the
Oh,
five
never mind.
goals
Okay, then
mark.
yeah, Demko, never mind. His stats have kind of dropped off. Okay, yeah, neither of their goalie stats look good.
No, no wins for Halak
Uh,
yet in 5 games. JT
why is
Miller has
Pedersen,
18 points in 16 games.
Pedersen and Besser, 9 points and 8 points, minus twos for both of them
That's not terrible, man. That's not. It should
in
be better.
16 games?
JT
Nine.
Miller and Elias Pettersson should switch their point, like what they have. Should switch that right now.
Yes, I agree. I mean, and also like I'm just thinking too, like when you look at like how much these guys are getting paid, like I mean Pedersen is getting 7.3 and he only has 9 points in 16 games. Brock Besser, he's an RFA at the end of this year with arbitration eligibility, and this is what he's doing in a contract year. Like,
Not good. Not good
I
for
don't
him.
know. I don't know. I mean, Ekman Larson, I mean, sure, the points aren't there for him, but he's at least a plus two. He seems to be playing well. Like, I don't mind that from him.
They're saying that they're not going to do any management changes, and currently no on ice changes either. They're gonna be patient. They said.
You know, I don't mind that from them.
Okay. Okay.
I don't because, like, you look at the players they have a good team on paper.
Right.
And I think it's just a matter of them figuring it out. Kind of like the Leafs, like they got off to a slow start. Did they trade people or do you think no, they just put Matthews with Nylander, they put Tavares with Marner again and yeah, just kind of changed the D pairings a bit here and there, gave everyone a shake up. And maybe that's what Vancouver has to do, just shake up the lines a bit, get people playing with different people, thinking differently, and then maybe the results will start going their way.
Well, it also depends the goaltending here because we're seeing a lot of not good numbers out of Vancouver in the goaltending department. If they don't have stability in net, it doesn't matter what you do offensively or defensively, you're going to lose most games because
That is
you can't
true.
have switch cheese in net. It's just not going to work. And the plus minuses are telling us that it's a pretty well balanced team with a bit
Hmm.
of maybe I don't know if it's the defensive part because the defensemen are doing arguably the best. I mean, Lamenko is pretty bad right now, and Brad Hunt as well. Madison Voey's, but the other half is doing good. So
Yeah,
it
I
could
know.
it could be, and it probably is a lack of depth, of proper depth, because they sort of quickly stitched this together during the off season, threw Oliver Ekman Larson in there for extra support, hoping that he could bring out even more offense, but he seems to have traded that offense with defensive prowessness instead.
But I
Or
think that's okay
yeah, of
because you have
course.
Quinn Hughes. You got Quinn Hughes on the back end
Yeah.
who's your offensive defenseman. You don't really need another guy. I think
He doesn't want
Ekman
the limelight.
Larson,
He doesn't want
yeah,
he doesn't
exactly.
want the spotlight.
Exactly. Yeah. Although, I mean, you say he doesn't want the spotlight, but here he is in a Canadian market with pretty, like, big media influence on there, the fan base. I
I look
mean,
at it like Morgan Riley. If we're being
okay,
honest,
yeah.
in this market, you got Pedersen, Hughes, JT Miller, and then he would be the fourth guy. And if you look at Toronto, you have Nylander, Tavares, Marner, Matthews. That's not in order, but then you have Riley after.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
as the fifth. Yeah, you're right.
but Brock Besser, I forgot to add that in for Vancouver.
Hmm.
Unless if I didn't. Anyways, that being said, I think he's the second guy, second defenseman they're looking at, maybe third. Tyler Myers, I don't really see him on this, but Luke Shen's doing all right. Or is
Yeah,
it
I
Tyler
mean,
Myers?
hey,
Yeah, he's doing all right too. They're doing fine.
Shen is injured right now, though,
Okay,
unfortunately. And
I
then
see.
they also have, oh no, those guys are all LTIR. Michael Furlan, Brandon Sutter, Brady Keeper, and Matthew Highmore.
So you think they're gonna keep this going?
Yeah, I think again, no, don't hit the panic button now. Yeah, sure, things aren't looking great at the moment.
But do you
You're
think the
5-9
record
two.
they're gonna get better? You believe that?
You would think. I mean, do
Playoff
I believe it?
potential?
Ooh, they gotta start changing things now because they're 2-7-1 in the last 10. So they gotta show what they can do now. I know it's basically just about the rest of this month and next month. If in January they're still, at a sub four or around 400 point percentage, then yeah, maybe you start thinking this isn't our year. Who do we look to sell off and what do we look to bring in to help us in the future?
It's funny because they thought that similar to Ottawa, they could just flip it around quickly and get right back into it. But now they might be rebuilding too.
Yeah, well, dude, I think a lot of people thought that when you looked at them, you're like, wow, look at all these young players they have. Like, they have such a good core, and Bo Horvat's such a good captain, all this, and like, I agree with it. And dude, they added like along in that OEL trade, like for Ekman Larson, they added Connor Garland as well, who's lighting it up for them.
Yeah,
So it's almost like, yeah, how could this go so wrong? But it's because just the stars that are there that they thought they could heavily rely upon aren't showing up yet. But again, there's still lots of time left in the season for them to show up.
yeah, they're young. I mean, if you
Hmm.
look at Nick Suzuki, he's doing great. It's the opposite situation where he's doing well and the team is just crapping behind him.
Yeah.
Um, in this case, Pedersen's not doing great, Besser's not doing great, and the team's not doing great. So it's just not a good combination. Maybe once they start turning that around, the differential will be a little different. You have a minus 14 differential, worst in the Pacific at the moment. And
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that their power play and their penalty kill is one of the lowest in the NHL as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, that's for sure.
No. So hopefully they could turn it around because they were projected to do well in this week, which we thought was weak Pacific Division.
Hmm.
They've been turning a lot of heads recently. So go you Pacific. You go Pacific.
Yeah, and just stay calm, Vancouver. For once, please don't riot.
That's right. Don't pull off some crazy stunts.